Mindset is everything. Unknown. This is the topic of mindset just seems to keep coming up for me in many ways. So today I want to talk about it. You have the power to be the boss of your own life. I'm your host, Monica Allen. I'm a wife, mom, entrepreneur, best-selling author, lifelong learner, and your biz bestie. I have a love and passion for all things small business. Growing my own company from $700 to over 7 figures annually, my goal is to bring you inspiration, business-focused topics and tips, encouragement, and a community that helps you launch, grow, and scale your business, whether you are a dreamer, a side hustler, or a seasoned entrepreneur. You are listening to the Become Your Own Boss podcast. This week's episode is brought to you by the Trifecta Toolbox. This toolbox was created by Trifecta Group Coaching, where my business partners, Kelly Lanes and Monica Van Landingham, and I focus on overall business strategy, marketing strategy, and social media growth and engagement for overall business success. The toolbox includes a business checklist for ongoing business strategy, email subject lines that actually get opened, and an email marketing launch strategy, social media carousel templates that you can easily make your own, as well as social media reel templates that you can easily make your own as well. You can get all of this in the Trifecta Toolbox, and it's available to you at Trifecta Group Coaching /Trifecta Toolbox, or you can see the link in the show notes. Mindset, by definition, is the idea and attitudes with which a person approaches a situation, especially when these situations are seen as being difficult to alter. Initially, the topic came up around mindset when I was sharing with Ethan some recent feedback I received from people around starting a business. A few mentioned simply not knowing where to start or not having step-by-step guidance. And he posed a question, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it exactly, but he asked me, do you think they really want to start a business? And he went on to say that with all of the resources these days, YouTube, podcasts, the internet, etc., they have the information at their fingertips. So do you think they really want to start a business? And that got me thinking. Then I ran into a young lady who expressed to me that she hates her job. And I mean, she expressed it with such disdain, I really wanted to tell her to quit next week. But of course, that's not the right thing to do. I personally think you have to be more strategic and logical, not operate on emotion around that type of thing. But that got me thinking even more. She has been with this company a while. What is holding her back from moving on to another place of employment or pursuing her dream of getting into real estate? My conclusion was mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there can be constraints in life, money, time, resources, other people pulling at you, just being comfortable. But when all is said and done, I think it boils down to mindset. First, let's talk about what feeds into your mindset. And these are in no particular order. But one thing is your environment and upbringing. This includes your home, workplace, school, and community. These things can significantly influence our mindsets. Environments that are supportive, safe, and stable are more likely to cultivate a positive mindset, while those that are the opposite of that, stressful, unstable, or unsafe, unsupportive, can contribute to a negative mindset. Another thing is people around you or your relationships. To me, Kevin Hart said it best, and I heard him on Instagram. He said, you can win more when you surround yourself with winners, people who just want stuff out of life. Now, he said a different word, of course, but I want to keep the podcast clean. It's addictive, he went on to say. You get that? It just rubs off. Kevin is right. People who are successful and driven can motivate and inspire you to be your best self. They can also provide you with support and advice when you need it. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with negative people who are always complaining and putting you down, it will be very difficult to achieve your goals. So if you want to be successful, it's important to choose your friends wisely. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and who will help you reach your full potential. Another one is our life experiences. Things that you've been exposed to, positive things, trauma, it all plays a part. Another one is society's norms, values, and expectations. These are also known as socio-cultural factors. So, for instance, persistent discrimination, inequality, and other social challenges can contribute to a negative mindset. And then there's just the internal stuff, the way we interpret our experiences, or the fact that some of us are just generally more optimistic while others are more pessimistic. Have you ever met someone that only saw the negative in most situations? There was simply no lemonade being made with any lemons ever. Now, I'll be honest, it is hard for me to understand having a negative mindset, but I think that is due to the fact that most of my inputs in life have been pretty positive. Though my family didn't have a lot of money when I was growing up, I did have lots of support and love. There was a little bullying in middle school and high school, but honestly, that just fed my flame and made me want to do even better. Now that we know all of the things that can feed into our mindset, let's talk about how to improve or change our mindset. The first thing is practice self-awareness. We have to recognize negative thought patterns and replace them with positive and constructive ones. Ashley Pedersen and I talked a little bit about this last week. We have to challenge our limiting beliefs. Like, for example, you may think, I can't start a business. I can't grow my business to 7 figures. But we have to actually change that phrasing in our mind and even write it down. Change it completely and say, I can start a successful business. I can grow my business to 7 figures. The next thing is embrace a growth mindset. This means cultivate a belief in your ability to learn and develop. If you listened to this week's 2-minute takeaway Tuesday, you know I discussed the fact that we can almost immediately become a new person. When you read or listen to a podcast, meet someone new, learn something new, you are now a different person than you were prior to that encounter, prior to that knowledge. A growth mindset allows you to do something with your new insights. It allows you to view your failures as learning opportunities. It pushes you to stay focused, take calculated risk, and pursue your goals. You want to start a business? The next thing you do is write down the steps to get there. You want to grow to 7 figures, 8 figures? What do you need to do to get there? Do you need to sell more product, get more customers, add on an ancillary business? But you have to ask yourself these questions and give yourself a roadmap to actually getting to the thing that you want to accomplish. That is a growth mindset. Lastly, surround yourself with positivity. I talk about this so much because I think it's so important. Kevin Hart told us, Oprah's told us, and we know in our gut that we have to surround ourselves with positive influences. Engage with people who inspire and motivate us. Join a community or group of like-minded individuals. People who want to do better. You may have to leave some people behind, and this can be the hard part, but this is where leveling up comes in. You don't have to be mean about it, but as Michelle Obama stated in her recent Netflix documentary with Oprah, you can just slow ghost. This means where you don't cut them off right away, but you just become less available. This absolutely cracked me up. If you haven't watched that documentary, you should check it out. I found it quite inspiring. I also recently watched the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary on Netflix. His last name is hard. And truthfully, I realized just this year how much I enjoy documentaries. But whether you like Arnold or not, as a bodybuilder, as an actor, or a politician, that doesn't matter. His life and this documentary has a great message around mindset. His focus on becoming a bodybuilding champion was just unbelievable. Unrelenting. The willingness to leave Austria to pursue his bigger goals, his consistency, his commitment, and his drive. Another thing that Ashley and I talked about in last week's episode. This is what led to his success in everything he pursued. So after watching this documentary, I'm no longer the same. As I mentioned earlier, when you have new inputs, you truly become slightly different. And over time, you become a different person based on that. And so I would definitely recommend this documentary as well. But back to the young lady I spoke with recently. And I told her this in so many words. If I were her, and I'm not, of course, but if I was her, I would let that job be my motivation to move on. She mentioned that she works long hours. So the first goal I would set for myself would be to find another job that would give me the bandwidth to go to real estate classes. She doesn't have the expense of kids, so hopefully she can afford to take the classes. But if not, perhaps moving in with a parent or sibling and paying less in rent for a while would help her get there to get those classes done. I can remember I moved back home after being out of college with a roommate for over a year. But I moved back home for a while so I could pay off my student loans and save for a new car. Okay, back to her. If I were her, I would then study my butt off to finish those real estate classes and get my license as soon as possible. I would keep my day job and begin to build my real estate business on the side. Now, will this take some time? Of course, but starting today is better than starting a month or a year from now. I wanted to chat with you all today about mindset because mindset can hold us back from changing jobs, starting businesses, moving in the way that we desire, even growing the businesses we already have. I know I desire to grow my business, and in order to do that, I have to level up positive self-talk by telling myself that I am capable of growing my business. I'm capable of learning new things, meeting new people. I recently signed up for one of Bloomberg's business newsletters because I desire to learn more about personal finances and investing. We sometimes have to find or hunt down the positive inputs that will give us the positive outputs we desire, and our mindset is what will allow us to do that. Our mindset is what will give us the drive to persevere when it gets hard. I often say that my mindset is propelled by my history. I say this because when I think back to my ancestors and what they endured, those who were enslaved, those who were born free, including my grandmother, but who was born during the Great Depression, couldn't read, and grew up on a farm, I have no excuses. She was not formally educated, but managed to buy her own house, cars, and raise 3 kids. Surely in this time in which I live, I can accomplish so much more and pass it on to the generations that will come after me. I think of the 3 things that lend most to improvement and a change of mindset. It is truly to embrace a growth mindset. Because you see, the ability and willingness to learn and develop is key. If you can do that, you can easily practice self-awareness because you're willing to learn more about that. You're willing to learn more about yourself, your negative thoughts, your negative thought patterns, and correct that. You're open to that. You also can easily surround yourself with positivity because you're open to networking with people who may be different than what you're used to. You're open to joining a community or finding the individuals you need to be around to grow. Whether it's career, business, or life in general, embracing a growth mindset allows us to do the hard things. It allows us to be willing to learn about the hard things. So I just want to encourage you today to embrace a growth mindset. One of the biggest ways to do this, and I talk about it often, if you've listened to the podcast any length of time, one of the ways to do this is by actually setting goals. This will help you move forward. And truly, this is a mountaintop that I will never come down off of because setting goals and setting the steps to getting those goals done will ultimately lead you to success in your business, in your career, in your education, in your family, in your life, all of that. And I just want to say this because I'm so proud of my daughter, and I think most of us are proud of our kids. As parents, we are proud of them. But I tell you, I actually admire my daughter. She's an inspiration to me. It does not just have to do with the fact that she's really a good kid and she studies and she does all the things she's supposed to do. But she is so steadfast on the things that she wants to get done. She sets goals for herself. And I'll give you an example. She has set goals for herself this summer where she's focusing on 4 things for 30 days. And I'm going to try to remember the 4 things, but she calls it her 30-day plan. And on each day, she works on these 4 things for 10 minutes. And they are piano, practicing the sign language, or practicing her sign language because she wants to learn to do that. She's learning canon in D on the piano. She practices her math. School is out and she is working on math. I was not this student. And lastly, she does her training, or working out to me, but she calls it training. 10 minutes every day for 30 days was a goal she set for herself. And truly, she gets it done. It's amazing to me. I, again, was not this kid. Anyway, yes, I'm a proud mama, though. She is truly an inspiration to me. So setting goals for yourself will allow you to get things done. And in order to do that, embracing a growth mindset will push you forward into getting those things done. Thank you for listening today. I'm grateful for you. Take a moment to subscribe, review, and share the podcast. Surely you know one person that could use a little bit of a change in their mindset, a change to a positive mindset. Share this podcast with them. Also, take a moment to join the Become Your Own Boss community by clicking the link in the show notes or simply visiting monicaallen.com. Again, thanks for tuning in. And remember, now is the time. Now is the time to level up, leave a legacy, and become your own boss.